Yours, Daintree.
Is that man Daintree slightly crazy?
I don't think so. First-class shot. Why?
He brought a rather grand-looking package and presented it to me. And when I opened it, out dropped about 200 little bags of chocolate marbles. What the hell am I supposed to do with them?
My dear fellow.
I'm going up. But there are drinks for those who want one before changing.
A good day's sport, I hope?
Yes, the birds were going over well.
I'm a fishing man myself. You're Daintree, aren't you? I took your blood pressure once.
Oh, yes, of course, Dr. Percival.
I wanted us to get together quietly here. Come into the study.
My God, if these are not Maltesers. I always bought them at the movies when I was a kid.
We owe them to Colonel Daintree.
I haven't had a Malteser in donkey's years. Never go to the movies now, that's the trouble.
There seems to be a leak somewhere in Section 6.
At home or in the field?
I'm not sure, but I have a nasty feeling it's here at home, in one of the African sections, 6A.
I've just finished going through Section 6. Routine check.
And?
Well, security has got a bit slack, but that's true of all the other sections, too. A lot of briefcases going out at lunchtime, that sort of thing.
It's just possible that the leak came from abroad, that the evidence has been planted here by the Russians. They may be after scandal more than information. Damage morale, hurt us with the Americans. A spy scandal could be more dangerous than the leak itself.
Not a very important leak, then?
A very small drip, mainly economic matters. Any ideas, Daintree?
The head of Section 6, Watson, is fairly new. He's been very thoroughly checked out. Then there's Castle. He belongs to the slack vetting days, but I'd say he's clear. Married. Second wife, first wife dead, one child, house in the country, life insurance, very steady.
A country house?
No, a small house in Berkhamsted, on mortgage, no high living, doesn't even run to a car. Dullish chap, really. We brought him back from Pretoria 7 or 8 years ago.
Spot of trouble in Africa?
Only personal. Some problems about the girl he wanted to marry.
She was a black, wasn't she?
Is that significant?
Did I say so?
Tell me about Davis.
I don't know I'm quite so happy about Davis. Flashier type altogether. Bachelor, lives alone, spends fairly freely. Runs a pretty expensive car.
So do I.
Likes a bet. Fond of vintage port.
I'm fond of vintage port.
Reading University. Mathematics, physics, and Labour Party.
Like nearly half the population. What about secretaries?
They're vetted more carefully than anyone.
The girl mainly concerned with 6A is General Chamberlain's daughter.
May we ask who tipped us off?
Moscow. A Soviet defector who remains in place.
You know, the thing that worries me is that Davis was taking a report out of the office. I could put a maximum security check on him.
Yes, but looking beyond that, suppose you proved it, what then?
Well, that'd be up to the courts.
Then they'll have pulled it off, won't they?
Pulled it off?
Another trial. Usual headlines. Nobody outside will know how unimportant the leak was, only that the British Secret Service has been penetrated again. And then there's our source in Moscow. We don't want to blow him, as long as he proves useful.
Might be better to shut our eyes to the whole thing. Move who's ever responsible to a backwater and forget him.
And a better crime?
The Russians don't often bring things to a trial. If we're to have any chance of beating them at their own game, well, it's important that we're playing the same game. Logical?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Shall we have just one more whiskey, or should we leave it there?
Well, I'd like another, if I may. I don't want to be difficult, but I would like to get things a little clearer.
It's quite simple. Take Davis. You put on your maximum security check. You might give him a marked note. See if it turns up in Moscow, that sort of thing.
I could feed Davis some plausible tidbit from the bacteriological boys at Porton. Then if it bounced back, there wouldn't be much doubt, would there?
Then when we're quite certain he's our man, it seems to me, we just have to eliminate him.
Eliminate?
Well, Daintree, what we can't risk is a midnight flight and a press conference in Moscow.
You asking me to push someone under a train?
Good heavens, no, we can't afford an inquest. He should die quite peacefully, without pain if possible, poor chap.
Who?
If it is Davis, he's only just over 40. Makes life a bit difficult with these antibiotics. I mean, death. Perhaps a heart attack.
Or his liver, if he drinks a lot.
You said something about port, didn't you, Daintree?
But I'm not saying he's guilty.
None of us are. We're just taking Davis as an example to examine the problem. We may need the science boys. Nothing spectacular. Doctor's certificate. That's why I wanted Percival here, to meet you.
Not disturbing you, I hope?
Oh. Forget to pack something. Anything I can lend you?
What's that?
Well, it was recommended by my dentist. The water gets between the teeth.
Of course, you do eat rather a lot of chocolate, don't you? Mine was recommended by Cartier.
Percival, it is after midnight.
Didn't want you to go to bed troubled. You seemed rather shocked at Hargreaves' attitude.
Perhaps I was.
Hargreaves likes to shock. Bit naughty like that.
Really?
Do you shave morning as well as night?
Yes, it's a habit.
Something to do with being married, is it?
My wife and I are separated.
Never wanted to get married myself. The trout fishing season is far too short as it is. And there's another thing. You haven't been with us very long, you know. We all live in boxes, you know, boxes. Do you know Mondrian?
Someone in the firm?
Not as far as I know. He was a painter, chappie. Boxes. All part of the same picture. Each one separate, but held in perfect balance. Everyone to his own box. You in yours, I in mine. No responsibility for the next man's box. Makes sense, you know. Just find our leak and pass him on to the next box. No reason to lose any sleep.
I wonder if the painter shares your interpretation.
He's dead.